Welcome back. It is Friday, July 14th, and the MLB. Our three favorite picks are on the way. It's Austin, joined by Logan, and we missed you guys. It's been a long time since our last video last Sunday, but we'll recap the last Sunday because we obviously had the All-Star break. It was a 3-in-1 day. Heck, we'll take that, Logan. You had that 2-unit play on the Royals. The rest of our plays are down below. Hey, we'll take a 3-in-1 day going into the break. Hopefully, we dominate the books the second half of the year. If you were to tune into our videos last year, we went into the break around the 12-unit mark, and then at the end of the year, we were up 51 units. Right now, we're entering at about 18 or so. Yeah, I'm confident we'll have a big second half of the year. So if you aren't new, make sure you do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like too. The second half of the year is going to be electric. And then we got NFL starting up. But before we get into that, let's dive into a couple quick notes. Number one, the parlay of the day is back. We've hit 3 straight of these, and hopefully we're going for a 4th straight. It's always Friday. We normally give away the winnings if it does hit. We'll talk about how we're going to give that away on our Twitter at Call on our Shot. Go show us some love there. We'll tweet out how we're giving away the $155 if it does hit. And number 2, we do have a PointsBet offer that we actually have never talked about before. It's a pretty good one though. You can get a second chance on your bets up to $100 for 5 consecutive days. All the details are down below, but if you sign up with the top link in the description, you make a bet, and if it loses, you get it back up to 5 times in a row. So take a look at it. All the details down below in the description. But Logan, you got 2 plays today. You've been on a good run lately. I like your first one. I'm rocking a shirt for you. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, first pick. Let's get after it. Let's have a big second half post All-Star break of the year. I'm going to a money line, and as you mentioned, Austin, on your jersey. Thanks for wearing it today. I'm taking the Cubs on the money line, plus 102 odds on FanDuel is currently your best value on this one. Now, coming off the All-Star break, I do like the Cubs at home with their veteran pitcher today. Veteran pitcher being Kyle Hendricks. 3.04 ERA and a 1.03 whip on the year for Kyle Hendricks. Those numbers are pretty good. I'm not going to lie. That's a guy I can comfortably back. Hendricks, if you've never watched him before, or maybe you might watch him today, he's a pitch-to-contact pitcher. 86th percentile in hard hit percentage, 93rd percentile in average exit velocity, which are very, very important statistics for a pitch-to-contact pitcher. And a pitch-to-contact pitcher shouldn't be walking a lot of guys, hopefully. And he's 94th percentile in walk percentage. So all of these numbers do check out in terms of like what I expect him to do. Now, if he wants to go out and just start straight dealing and getting 6-7 strikeouts, I would be very surprised, but I would be pleasantly surprised because Kyle Hendricks not really a swing and miss type guy. And I don't actually need that against the Red Sox offense that I don't mind fading on the road at all, because pre-All-Star break, this Red Sox offense was 20th in batting average and 21st in OPS on the road. They don't scare me one bit. At Fenway, maybe I would have some hesitation fading them, but I really don't trust them coming off the layoff against a pitch to contact guy like Hendricks. They're going to be challenged to get those extra base hits where the defense isn't, and I think if Hendricks has his A game today, we should be in decent shape. Now, starting for the Red Sox today is Brayan Bello. 3.04 ERA and a 1.19 whip for Brayan Bello. Pretty solid numbers on the year. He's been one of the pleasant surprises, definitely in that Red Sox rotation. Now, I would be personally surprised if Bello, is in his pre-All-Star break form of where he was being so efficient and going about 7 innings pitched. I just don't see that today. I think the Cubs are one of those teams that can make life pretty difficult for Brayan Bello and make him not an efficient pitcher. What I mean by that, some long at-bats, fouling a lot of pitches off. It's what the Cubs do. The Cubs definitely make a lot of pitchers work. Bello also doesn't get a ton of strikeouts. You look at his strikeout numbers and his whiff percentage, strikeout percentage, everything like that. They're not all that impressive, Cubs, and that's something that worries me whenever a pitcher is facing the Cubs, because if they're a strikeout specialist, I am hesitant to back the Cubs. The Cubs are 25th in strikeouts on the year, so the fact that he's not really a strikeout guy is kind of beneficial for us in this matchup. Bello, you're looking at him 30th percentile in hard hit percentage, 34th percentile in K percentage, 42nd percentile in expected slugging. Those are some baseball savant numbers that I don't think are all that great for a guy like Bello who hasn't consistently been getting the strikeout. I'm just saying Bello's expected ERA is a 4.0 on the dot. I think throughout the season, we're going to kind of see some regression come for the young pitcher. I'm sorry. That's normally how it works. And I think Brayan Bello, it would be tough for him to follow up his first half pre-All-Star break performance. Cubs hitting .250 at home. That's 16th in baseball. First home game for the Cubs since July 2nd as well. So it's been a minute since they played in Wrigley, and I trust this offense actually to get it done today. If you look at the bullpens, Cubs 16th in bullpen ERA, Red Sox 14th in bullpen ERA. Not a huge decisive advantage for either team there, but as the home underdogs, I really do like this spot for the Cubs. We're getting plus value on them. Public pretty heavy on the Red Sox, no surprise. But I will go ahead and roll with the Cubbies as my first pick in this one. Austin, what you got for us today?
Hey, Logan, I'm wearing the Cubs jersey for you. Hopefully my boy Ian Happ, who's on the back of this jersey, shows up for you. But either way, I'm going to go into another game pick. I do want to say we're going to probably do a lot more picks the second half of the year, but it is just the first day back from the All-Star break, so we're going to ease into things. No reason to, just force 5 picks right out the gate. But I'm going to go into under here, and I'm going to the Giants and Pirates and taking the under at 9 runs, currently minus 104 on FanDuel. Now, I honestly was close to testing my luck, taking the under at 8.5 for a plus 118 value, but I'll take the push potential here in case they do end on 9, get our money back. If you want to avoid the push potential, like I said, you can take the 8.5, which technically has the cash for us to win this bet, or you can take the 9.5 for minus 125, which does not have the push potential. But if we push at 9, you would win at 9.5. But either way, regardless of pitching, these are two offenses that I am perfectly capable of fading right out of the gates because we never really know what you're going to get outside the All-Star break. Obviously, there have been some rule changes this year, so you can go back and look at recent data from the previous years and see, oh, these are how teams do after the All-Star break. But with the new rule changes, I'm sure some things are going to adjust there. But still, these are a lot of hitters that haven't really touched a baseball bat in a couple days. And so I'm not necessarily sure the bats are going to be brought this first day in this game. And these are two offenses perfectly capable of going out there and putting up 0, 1, 2 earned run, 2 type run performances. But either way, let's talk about the pitching and why I'm going to be taking the under here. Now, Ross Stripling is projected to go for the Giants, and he enters with a 6.37 ERA and a 1.46 whip. Now, he had some injuries in there in the middle of the season, but since his return from injury, he's made 3 appearances, 8 2/3 innings pitched, only 3 earned runs allowed. So he's been pretty solid. He's actually last year was a pretty good guy on the road versus at home. Same kind of weird, reverse home road splits. But either way, the Stripling's a bullpen guy. It's not like he's going to go out there and throw 7 innings pitched. And if he does, that probably means because he's cooking. But this is either way. This is not a guy really the Giants are going to give a long leash, especially given, he had a little bit of an injury in the middle of the season. So maybe he goes 4 innings pitched here today. If he goes longer than 4 innings pitched, like I said, it's probably because he's pitching really well, which is fine by me. But you look at it after he comes out, the Giants have the 4th best bullpen ERA over the last 30 games. So I trust them to come out here and hold it down regardless of how Stripling does. We just can't afford, Stripling to come out and give 4 or 5 earned runs in his, 2, 3, 4 earned innings pitched. But either way, as long as we don't get Sean Manaea out of the pen for the Giants, I feel good about it. Sean Manaea, obviously a guy that I don't trust. If you see Sean Manaea come in, I wouldn't mind live betting the over because that guy really just is not it. But either way, I think that we'll see a good outing out of Stripling. And Manaea, even if he does come in, I think he can hold it down. But on the other side, you're going to have old man Rich Hill. Now, if there's any guy that's used to having a little bit of an extended break after the All-Star break, well, it's a guy like Rich Hill, who's 43 years old, and he's coming in here with a 4.78 ERA and a 1.44 whip. The last time he faced San Fran, well, he went 6 innings pitched, allowed 6 earned runs. Look, we cannot afford that Rich Hill today. And we've talked about time and time again. If you just look at how a pitcher did in the most recent start and you just bet exactly that same thing to happen, and the next start against the same team, probably going to be wrong more often than not. It's baseball. Every single game is independent of the others. Obviously, some teams have good experience for some pitchers, and you'll see maybe a duplication of those things. But for a team like the Giants, I just can't anticipate them duplicating that great performance against Rich Hill. And we're looking also at Rich Hill that came off a bad performance in his last start pre-All-Star break, giving up 5 earned runs at the Diamondbacks. Obviously, he's back at home. That start against the Giants and the Diamondbacks are both on the road. I anticipate him pitching a little bit better at home here today. And, I think a guy like Rich Hill, he's going to give us some base runners. He's not going to go out there and pitch a perfect game or throw a no-hitter. That's probably not happening. He'll walk some guys. He's going to give us some base runners here. It's whether or not this Giants team get the timely hits and whether or not everyone from 1 through 9 is clicking on all cylinders. And I just don't know if I can count on that the first game out of the All-Star break. I think they're going to have some guys in there that go over that Rich Hill get out. And you look at Rich Hill's strikeout prop sitting at 4.5, juiced on the over about minus 165 on FanDuel. So they're pretty confident he gets 5 or more Ks. His last time against the Giants, when he got rocked, only had 3 Ks in that game. If you look at the starts where Rich Hill gets 5 or more strikeouts, normally his ERA shooting way down. He's having pretty good starts in there, allowing 3 earned runs or less, which we can afford, a 3 earned run type performance for Rich Hill over 6 innings pitched. I'd be fine with that. I'd hopefully expect better, but 3 earned runs is kind of our baseline. Hopefully he gives up that or less than that. But either that, after you look at the Pirates bullpen, it's not great. I'm not going to come out here and say the Pirates bullpen is going to hold it down for us, but they're decent. It's obviously the first game after the All-Star break. Probably going to use their better arm arms here because everyone's rested. So either way, you look at over the last 30 days, the Pirates 30th in batting average and 30th in OPS in the league. The Giants 26th in batting average, 27th in OPS over that time span. So two offenses that aren't really coming in here with the hottest bats in the world, also coming off a little bit of an all-star break, an extended break. So either way, I'm fine fading both these two teams. I don't expect them to give their starters, a long leash, given that their bullpens are completely well rested. So either way, I think when you see majority of the damage come against the starting pitcher, come in that sixth inning, when you see that guy for that third time through the order, don't necessarily know it's guaranteed that each team sees the starter, especially for Stripling 3 times, maybe for a Chili good 3 times there too. So give me the under for 9 runs in this one. I think it's a good one. We got the push potential at 9. I think this line's a tad too high. If it were 8.5, probably would still take it there, but I don't think it moves away from 9. I'll take it at under 9. But Logan, you got a player prop for us today? It's in your hometown, or what's it going to be?
Yeah, we're going to the Phillies versus Padres game, and I'm taking Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Minus 120 odds on DraftKings is currently your best value. I've talked about this before. I think the hits, runs, RBI market is one of the best markets to bet player props in, because so many outcomes can benefit you. If you don't have DraftKings, first of all, really, if it's in your area, you get it. It's probably the best book to bet majority of baseball stuff on. But Schwarber, I would take a Schwarber and Trey Turner hit parlay, minus 102 odds. You could get on something like that pivot. But I really just want to target Kyle Schwarber in this one, because Schwarber faces Yu Darvish and the Padres today, and I like the matchup. In his career versus Darvish, he's 4 for 12 in 12 at-bats, 15 plate appearances total. He's hitting .333 with 2 home runs and 3 walks in there as well. So he's just getting on base. He is getting the home runs, which isn't important for a guy like him, because everyone knows Kyle Schwarber. He's like the home run or bust kind of guy, but he's actually sneaky, living on base. I'll talk about that in a second. Darvish, Yu Darvish today, starting for the Padres today, 262 batting average versus lefties compared to a 237 batting average versus righties. So you're seeing he's definitely able to be exploited by the left-handed hitters. Obviously, Kyle Schwarber is a lefty in this one. And now in a hits, runs, RBI prop, you need guys that can get on base. Schwarber's pretty decent at that, actually. He's 4th best in walks drawn this year, which is kind of wild, because everyone's like, oh, he goes up there and swings for the fences or he strikes out, but he does draw a lot of walks. If Yu Darvish right out of the gate doesn't have his A game, Kyle Schwarber's not afraid to take some pitches. And batting leadoff, I trust players behind Schwarber to be able to hit him around, because in a hits, runs, RBIs prop, obviously, you could count a run being scored as they don't even need to technically get a hit for that one. But there should be a lot of opportunities for him to be hit in to get that maybe run opportunity. And Schwarber, look at how he's batting on the year, only 184 this season. That's going to scare a lot of people off from a prop like this. But with a 224 expected batting average, sometimes the ball just wasn't going his way this year, and I expect that batting average to go up as the season progresses. He's a veteran hitter. He's been through slumps. He's been through the good and the bad, and I think a hitter like Kyle Schwarber will be in line to get some hits and runs and RBIs for us today. Unrelated to that too, the Nerfy in this game. Why are you talking about a Nerfy when you're picking player prop? Well, the Nerfy is plus 116 odds on FanDuel with a game total of 9.5. There should be a lot of offense in this game. For a first inning Schwarber would cash this bet. I'm just saying, I kind of want to speak it into existence. We've been on the wrong end of a first inning Schwarber before, and I expected there to be some home run opportunities for him today. If you want to sprinkle on the home run, go for it, because a guy like Kyle Schwarber does swing for the fences with that golf swing. Everyone's watched him and then knows it. I expect there to be a lot of offense in this game and Kyle Schwarber to be doing a lot of the damage, so I do like his hits, runs, RBI prop. Some of his other teammates had just too juiced, like Trey Turner, Alec Boehm, those types of guys, even Bryce Harper. Those guys were a little bit dicey because I'm like, we're getting into the juice territory. I'd rather take the lead off Kyle Schwarber, so we're going to go ahead and roll with him. I do, real quick before we end this, want to talk about some leans we talked about. I looked at Tyler Glasnow's under in 7.5 strikeouts. Look, this game could be, this prop could be 8.5 by first pitch, but it was just one of those lines that stunk to the high heavens, and you're just looking at it, you're like, wow, that's extremely suspect. Are they giving free money away on Glasnow's strikeout prop right out of the gate, in one of the most bet games and most bet teams? I don't know. If you want to be really contrarian, go ahead and take his under strikeouts. We're not doing it in this one, but I wanted to mention it. And Marlins or Orioles Nerfy, we considered that one with our Nerfy goat, Sandy Alcantara, on the mound. But Dean Kramer, Woof, man. He's 9-9 on Nerfies this year. That's terrible. Like that to have as many yes run first innings as you do no run first innings with that many starts. Clearly, Dean Kramer comes out of the gate as a nervous Nelly, and that's just not a guy I want to put my money on right out of the All-Star break. But Austin, I do like our 3 picks that we're going with the people today.
Like I said, I really like the 3 plays we got today. We would put out more plays if we're maybe a couple weeks into the All-Star break, but we're going to ease into it. Then that Marlins, Orioles, Nerfies, we love taking Sandy Nerfies, but man, Dean Kramer, I can't do it. I can't sit back and see Dean Kramer blow it up in the top half of the inning. But either way, we hope that one hits because we always root for all the Nerfies to hit. But we'll stick to our 3 plays, relying on Schwarber, relying on not a lot of runs in that Giants game, and then relying on the Cubs to get it done. Those are our 3 favorite picks of the day. Let's have a great second half of the year. Show some love. If you want to sign up for that offer on PointsBet, you can check out all the details down below. And parlay of the day, bang, go check it out. It's right on my face. The link is right below my face. Go check it out on Dimers. We'll see you guys back again tomorrow for some more picks. Let's enter the second half of the year with a 3-0 clean sweep of the day. We'll see you guys back in the next one. Peace.